Okay, I think their plan is, because this coronavirus is in all 50 states almost now, but it probably is in all 50 states. They just haven't tested for it. Um, I think their plan is to like not test for it so much so they don't overwhelm the hospitals. But I think that we have a lot more cases than they're trying to project that we have. Um, and they don't want us to take us out of work unless absolutely necessary because that's going to hurt the economy. But what they're doing in that case is they're making a lot of people sick that were going to get sick anyway over time, most likely, unless they just quarantined everybody, which is impossible to do for the economy anyway, to just quarantine everybody. But they aren't taking the whole of America, from what I can tell. I think they're going to quarantine people. Uh, I think they're going to try to quarantine a large section maybe of the U.S. together, but not the whole U.S. Because I think I wouldn't be surprised if several states quarantine together, but for like 30 days. Um, but I don't expect them to do it nationwide because that would shut down the economy majorly. But I do expect them to make it back up with overtime. A lot of the jobs that can't, like factories and whatnot, that can't have people there because they're sick, they have the coronavirus, and they have to send people home, will make up after the quarantine. And then they'll have no sick employees, and they'll be able to get on with their factory work. And if that's true for several states, they could have several states traveling amidst several states and still be able to get what they need. And have like fast food reopen and all that industry reopen, the hotels and whatnot. But it's only going to be for certain states. It's still going to probably hurt the hotels. Um, but there's so many different industries that they're affecting by having to quarantine that they really don't want to do it unless they have to because it's going to hurt. Like it's going to hurt the individual household moneymaker, which they've already passed bills to help them, the individual people, but now they're going to have to pass bills to help the businesses, which is going to go kind of interestingly. If these businesses can make up the slack with overtime, maybe not so much. Maybe they won't require so much money. But businesses, when you're talking businesses, you're talking, if we were talking billions of dollars for people, just for individual people to survive a month or two or three or whatever, whatever they may quarantine us for, I'm saying a month, and then skip some time and then maybe another month. But depending on if traveling is happening exceptionally in your state from out of bounds where it shouldn't be, basically. Um, but they got to watch the airplanes, which they're already doing. But basically, this thing is so strong, it just takes to one person to affect five or six people, and it's exponential from there. So they're really going to have to not quarantine unless they absolutely have to, and I think that's kind of how they're looking at it. They are wanting to quarantine, or they wouldn't be passing billions of dollar budget for people that can't go to work and still have apartment bills and stuff like that. But they are looking at quarantining. We just don't know if it's going to be a nationwide quarantine or between the states. Like I said, I kind of think it's going to be a state decision where they let the states do it. But because like if you do it wrong and you let people in from the outside, it's going to cause problems. But that's where some of this RFID chip stuff would come in as beneficial, to kind of keep outsiders out of the places where people are healthy, because it just takes one person to spread it. Um, but anyway, I don't know, like I said, if it'll be nationwide or if it'll just be between several states or just one state or how they're going to do it. The states right now are apparently leaving it up to the federal government, and the federal government is taking the hardest hit not the state governments. And I don't know if there's been discussion about that either, what the states should take on. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Um, I'm obviously almost all Americans are willing to do a quarantine rather than catch the virus. But it may be around for months now. Um, it's just going to be limited, um, because like travelers and stuff are still going to cause some type of problems. You know, there's always going to be people out there that are breaking the law or basically breaking the law by traveling when they know that they could have, the virus. And it would be up to our states just not to let them do that. But anyway, I don't know that there's strict enough control. You can't really call it military or anything like that because there's not strict enough control on it. Um, but anyway, they got a lot to look at, and I don't think anybody could really do it better. Um, because when you have travel like that and you have people meeting up like that, they've canceled all the meetings and stuff to try to cancel the travel down, but they need to know in every single case if someone is traveling, they need to know because that person could, potentially have the virus. That obviously happened to us, or it wouldn't be in nearly 50 states now. So.